Ouranos and Gaia, as previously mentioned, gave birth to three types of giant offspring. Ouranos despised his children, the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires. It seemed that their presence was a disgrace to him. To rid himself of them, he devised a way to banish them from his sight. He cast them down into the abyss of Tartarus, the deepest and most desolate part of the underworld. The goddess Gaia was utterly displeased with her husband's treatment of her Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires' children. She turned to her Titan offspring, urging them to rebel against their father. However, none of the Titans dared to follow their mother's call, except for Titan Cronos, who boldly took on the immense task. Following his mother's plan, armed with a sickle given by her, Cronos lay in wait for Ouranos to retire to bed and then struck him down. The blood of Ouranos' heaven fell upon Gaia Earth, giving rise to a fourth generation of giants who, compared to the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, were at least equal, if not superior. These were the Gigantes, also known as the Great Giants. Towering figures clad in gleaming armor, always wielding long, razor-sharp spears, with terrifying and fearsome faces. The blood of Ouranos also gave birth to the Erinyes, female deities who carried whips and torches. Their hair consisted of writhing, venomous snakes, and anyone who saw them would flee in terror. These goddesses were charged with punishing and avenging wrongdoers, tormenting their hearts day and night, depriving them of peace and rest, leaving them in constant anxiety and remorse. It is also said that drops of Ouranos' blood that fell into the sea gave birth to the goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite. Ouranos had many children. Estimates range from 12 to 45. In the 1st century BCE, the scholar Diodorus of Sicily, in his work Historical Library, compiled and recounted myths. Under his pen, the myth of Ouranos was influenced by the euhemerus theory, a materialistic and rudimentary rational explanation of mythology. Diodorus claimed that Ouranos was the first king of the Atlanteans, who lived along the Oceanus. Ouranos taught his people science and technology, being a learned man with a passion for astronomy. After his death, the people deified him, and over time, he became synonymous with the sky. According to this scholar, Ouranos had 45 children, 18 of whom were with Tita, from whom the Titans took their name. Later, Tita became known as Gaia. Diodorus's explanation is certainly not scientifically convincing, but it is worth noting as an example of early attempts by ancient scholars to uncover the historical core of myths. The goddess Gaia did not stop at just these births. She had many other unions, each resulting in new deities. With the sea god Pontos, her own son, Gaia bore the sea gods, Nereus, Phorcys, Thaumas, and Ceto. With Tartarus, she gave birth to Typhon, a monstrous god with 100 serpent heads spewing fire, towering even greater than the previous generation of Hecatoncheires giants. Some accounts also claim that Gaia gave birth to the Harpies and the great serpent Python. As the Mother Earth goddess, Gaia held a vital and significant place in ancient Greek religious beliefs. She was regarded as the great primordial ancestor of humanity, the dwelling place of mortals, their nurturer, and ultimately their final resting place. She was the beginning and end of life, the goddess who fostered fertile lands, thriving trees, and bountiful harvests. For this reason, Gaia was given the epithet Carpophorus, meaning Gaia the fruitful. She was worshipped throughout ancient Greece, and her name was often invoked in sacred oaths. In Dodona, northwestern Greece, Gaia was later regarded as the wife of Zeus, overshadowing the figures of Dione, Hera, and Demeter. The goddess of night, Nyx gave birth to many malevolent deities that brought misfortune to the world and mankind. Among them were the Cheires, black-winged goddesses with sharp talons, draped in garments perpetually soaked in human blood. These deities descended upon battlefields to feast on the corpses of the dead. They were different from Thanatos, the male god of death, also a child of Nyx, who carried out the duty of heralding death. In truth, the ancient Greeks also considered Thanatos to be a god of death. Next came the god of sleep, Hypnos, also known as the god of dreams, and the goddess of discord, Eris. Among Nyx's daughters, the goddess of strife stands out. Like her mother, she gave birth to a succession of destructive deities, including fatigue, hunger, suffering, chaos, quarrels, robbery, slaughter, and war. Yet the list does not end here. Night, Nyx, also bore the three Moirai, who governed the fate of both gods and mortals. Fate was represented as a thread spun by Clotho, measured by Lachesis, and mercilessly cut by Atropos with her cold, unyielding shears. Woe to anyone whose thread of life was severed by Atropos's shears, for they would be forced to abandon the golden, honey-sweet existence of the mortal world and descend into the abyss of Tartarus. We must also mention Nemesis, another daughter of Night, Nyx, who was responsible for punishing and avenging wrongdoing, upholding morality and justice. She was the guardian of moderation in life, arrogance, pride that sought to surpass the gods, abuses of power by the wealthy and powerful, excessive indulgence in luxury, vanity, and oppression of the innocent. All of these fell under the watchful gaze of Nemesis. This is a summary of the myth of the creation of the world, from primordial chaos and disorder to the emergence of form and divine rule. However, at this point, everything remained in turmoil, lacking stability and balance. Cronos usurped the throne of Ouranos and ruled the world amidst these challenges. Greek creation myths share similarities with those of many other cultures worldwide, as comparative mythology studies have revealed. These motifs include the separation of Earth from sky and the imprisonment of the Earth's offspring within its depths. In Indian mythology, the beginning of the universe was nothing but boundless water, neither existence nor non-existence. Over time, the water conceived the sun, and from non-existence within the earth emerged existence. The first stage of creation involved separating existence from non-existence. Existence became the realm of humans and gods, the sun, air, water, sky, and earth, the first deities. Non-existence remained the domain of demons and darkness. Another interpretation attributes the universe's origin to love. When Shiva and Shakti united, sparks of pleasure arose, and the universe was born from love. Or, Shiva split himself into two halves, one male and one female, and from their union, the universe was created. According to one hypothesis, Indra, the Indian god of storms, was the son of heaven and earth, conceived and born while they were still together. After drinking the divine soma, Indra suddenly grew into a giant with unparalleled strength, terrifying his own parents, who fled in opposite directions. This eternal separation of heaven and earth left Indra to claim the space between them. In Chinese mythology, there's the story of Pangu and Nua. In Vietnamese mythology, there's the tale of the deity who propped up the sky.